Hello farmers, welcome back to No Man's Land March, which means planting. But before we get to planting, we got to buy ourselves a planter. And no, we didn't get lucky in the store for sales. The planter's not in the sales department. A vineyard slash orchard kind of a tractor here. Decario? I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's part of the DLC pack. We'll be getting something like that in the future. Small harvester. Is this actually a complete TMR mixer? Which it is. I haven't used one of those since 15. And of course we got a slurry slash digestate tanker. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for our planter. Let's go on down here and scroll. Wait, there it is. Right here. So the reason why we're getting this one is because it's a direct drill planter. And with precision farming, that's kind of key for our tillage score. So, yep. 18.2 meter wide, 11 mile an hour working speed. It does fertilizing and seeds. It's direct drill for corn, sunflower, soybean, sugar beet, and cotton. 350 horsepower is required. So let's go ahead and click on into here. And I'm just going to go ahead and just remove no plates on that. Okay, that. And that's, I mean, there's no options for it other than that. So let's go ahead and buy that for, we'll just say $250,000. Bringing our money down to $208,000. The kind of a curious thing that happened this morning, of course, we sold everything in January slash February, and today there was a great demand for maple syrup at the maple syrup tent, and I think we sold the maple syrup for like 13 something. Well, with the great demand, it now puts it up to almost 2,000 per. Well, unfortunately, we don't. I got a little bit of maple syrup. We'll see if we get there later on. So, yep, this hooks up very nicely to the Fendt without manual attach, you know, activated. So, all the times I leased this and said it won't attach, I guess it will. Kind of attaches kind of weird. Anyways, we're going to go back to the main farm, and we're going to top this off with seed and not fertilizer. I am going to try something today with precision farming. So, we've been planting our fields. We've been direct drilling our fields and fertilizing at the same time, and sometimes it's registering, sometimes it's not. So what I want to do today is, for a test, we're going to come up here and plant sunflowers without fertilizer in the direct drill, and then we'll go around with the McCormick, and the reason I got to use the McCormick is because that's got the crop sensors on it, and we'll fertilize the field after we planted it to see if I get the fertilization up to 100%. It'll show it in the field, but I'm trying to see if it'll show up in our precision farming scoring. So if that doesn't do it, then I might as well just go ahead and put fertilizer in here and fertilize while we plant. But if I do that, then the McCormick will have to haul this around. Let me go ahead and change this to sunflower before I forget. And I hope this holds a lot of seed. Planters usually don't hold a lot of seed because, like I said many episodes ago, what's the difference between a seeder and a planter? A seeder is to seed seeds that are awfully small. Planters are for seeds that are bigger. So that would be your corn, sunflower seeds, and so on. So that's the difference between a seeder and a planter. And that's why a planter usually holds less amount of seed into it because they're bigger, so they take up more space. Let's go over here. And let me take the covers off that. And I just want seed and seed only. Hopefully you hold a lot, like maybe 3,000 or 4,000. Oh yeah, so it's definitely going to hold a lot more than I thought it would. It's going to be like 4,000, right? I saw it quickly when it got to around 2,000 liters. It was at 50% full. Alright, so 4228. Kind of an odd number, but well, actually it's an even number. But you know what I'm saying. It's a kind of a weird number to be stopping at. Anyways, let's go up here and get our sunflower planted in. We're just going to plant one field and then go around the McCormick and then put the fertilizer down to see if our score shows that we put fertilizer down. I don't understand. Maybe we just got to wait the 2 harvests like everyone says, but I'm just testing things out because I don't want to get after a couple of harvests and find out if I keep doing it the same way and it doesn't show the fertilization being put down. I got to find out how to correct that. So we're just going to do a little bit of a test here. May not do anything at all. As you can see, I got the McCormick already over here. Now, I've been told the McCormick will haul this planter. Now, the planter, I think, said 350 horsepower. and the McCormick is a 310 horsepower tractor. If it has problems planting with this, then what I may have to do, if we're going to fertilize with this planter, I'll have to put the sensors on the Fendt so we can fertilize at the same time. Let's go ahead and put that on down and start planting. So we didn't plow this field or anything like that, but we did get the line put on down. Oh wait, I was going to go ahead and check on over to here. Scroll on in. All right, so it's showing the pH value, and it's showing the soil sample value. So hopefully our tillage score will go up on both of these fields. And on these fields here, it only shows the soil sampling has been done. Yeah, I don't quite get it, but I know I'm being impatient with the 2 years, or at least 2 harvests being done. Yeah, this planter seems to be about the right width for what we're going to be doing. At least for the size fields that we got. Then, of course, definitely want to get that sugar beet in, because that's going to be the main focus for bringing the money in late fall through next winter. Hopefully that field produces a good amount of sugar beet. Now, the one thing we may have to do, well, I shouldn't say may have to do, we're probably going to put down a silo down at the BGA. Because I do expect that field to put out so much sugar beet that the BGA can't take it all at once. So I'll probably just put a small-ish silo down there. I guess we'll have to see how the harvest goes, and that way we can store the sugar beet down by the BGA. And then when the BGA can take more sugar beet, we'll just have to, you know, grab it from the silo and put it on in. Easy peasy, nice and easy. So as for the other $200,000 we got in the bank account, I'm not going to go ahead and spend that right away, because I really don't need to upgrade the BGA currently, because the BGA is sort of handling the grass that we get done, and I have nothing else to stick into the BGA currently other than cow slurry. So, but I don't really have enough of it to justify yet putting that down. I thought of a few other things that we could be doing. I need to put down a small shed over by the sheep for bringing some hay bales over. Instead of keep going over to the cow barn and bringing 2 bales over, it seems like every 2 days or so. I think it'd be just easier to just have a small shed there to put some bales under. That'd be kind of nice to do. And I kind of thought about maybe start looking at putting down our house, but I'm going to hold off on that just a little bit longer. I think I'm going to wait until fall before I do any major decorating that's going to cost me money. We may decorate freely, meaning that, you know, we don't pay for decorations in some areas. But my personal house, that is something, yes, we will pay for. And I think that house goes for like $180,000. But right now, I'm going to kind of slow down on that. I want to hang on to the money, see what the summer brings for sales and whatnot. But the only thing I may put down here, I may even do it today, is the donut shop. And start to peer into that, because, yeah, we're starting to get some cows. You know, we got more cows making milk. So that's going to be slowly coming in. That reminds me, I got to bring the milk on down to the Dairy Godmother and start making some butter. And probably start making some chocolate as well. Chocolate we'll need for the donuts. So I think the donut shop is $50,000. But it'll allow us to make more things. More different kind of things. This is going to be nice, quick, and easy to get these jobs done this morning. At least now we got ourselves a planter. Kind of expensive, but now when we want to do cotton or whatever, we don't have to lease a planter and then try to get everything done in a day. Now we can do it at our own leisure, because now it is ours. I just need to find more parking spaces for it, which I think I can do. I can move some stuff around. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, but you may see rain in the forecast. That rain should not be here until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I got plenty of time to do what we need to do. But I'm kind of interested to see what happens after we get done planting this field. And then I go around with a McCormick and then fertilize. Is it going to register right away? Only time will tell. And that time is coming very, very soon. Well, we are currently getting rid of the weeds as well, but technically the weeds are still here. They just can't see them because they're not grown yet. And we'll have to wait until they actually start growing before I bring the See and Spot sprayer over to take care of that. Let me go ahead and turn this off. We'll park the Fendt over here. Let's turn that off. And let's jump into the McCormick. Make sure I turn on the crop sensors. Let me bring this up, and it should be T for me to turn on the crop sensors. Okay, so crop sensors are on. Let's see here. How are we doing here? So, yep, it's reading the tillage is being put down, but the top bar on both of these fields is or both of those plots of land are reading nothing. So when I pull into here, no value detected yet. Now it should be saying sunflower. Yep, sunflower. It sees it. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see if I get done this and it shows that the nitrogen value has gone up. Then maybe I'll have to just, every time we do a field, plant a field, I just won't do a fertilizer. We'll just do it with seed only. And then go around later on and put fertilizer down. I don't know. But if it doesn't matter, then I'll just go ahead and then we'll fertilize when we plant. We'll see what happens here very soon. Let's see if we're going through. One thing I did notice, we did not go through a lot of seed planting the sunflower. I know it's a small field, but we didn't hardly go through that much seed planting the sunflowers. And we're not really going through that much fertilizer right now either. Make sure I leave a big enough strip in the middle so if I can't get it all in one pass, I want to make sure that the sensors can read that it needs to be fertilized there. That should be wide enough. Also today on the schedule is the grass field. The grass is actually ready to be mowed in the month of March. I did not know grass would grow during the winter. Like I said, I'm kind of used to the seasons in 19 to where grass pretty much would be almost reset in winter in 19. But looks like in 22, I really haven't been paying too much attention to it, but it's ready for harvest here in the first month of spring. Alright, so I shouldn't be using too much fertilizer because the crop sensor is going to know, even though it looks like we're spreading it that wide, we should not be spreading it that wide. It's only going to be in the areas that need it. So now the question becomes, is the score chart going to show that the nitrogen has been put down now? Alright, let's go ahead and turn that off. Go into the score chart. And the answer is no. It does not show any nitrogen has been put down in these fields, or this field here at all. So that trick doesn't show up. Didn't work, which is fine. So now what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to go ahead and unload this since it didn't really do anything. Let's drop that there. And now I'll just grab... let's see, we'll have to drop this off here. Because now I need the McCormick if I'm going to fertilize with a planter, because that's got the crop sensors on it. And we'll swap it around. So this is a 310 horsepower engine in here that we have. So we'll see how it handles a planter that requires 350. I remember at least one of you said that you had that set up and it worked just fine when I was trying to hook it up before with manual attach and it wouldn't work. You said, oh, I got the McCormick you got, and it hooks up to that planter just fine. And it hauls it just fine, so... I mean, we saw the T6. Let's see, that's a 175 horsepower, and we had a 210 horsepower requirement planter, or excuse me, drill, and that worked just fine. We'll fold that on up. Probably shouldn't be trying to drive forward when you're folding in the planter, because the wheels kind of hard to see. The wheels right there were not really lined up correctly. We were going, it was slowing us down. Now, we should go through a lot of seed when it comes time for the sugar beet. Now, for those of you who had noticed, it didn't take me long to notice, but it took me, I would think it took about 90 seconds. Like, why won't that fertilizer load up? This planter requires liquid fertilizer, not solid fertilizer for planting. So while we're down here, might as well top off with seed and liquid fertilizer. So that fertilizer I dumped on the ground, I can put back in that spreader when I get back up there. Might as well top this off first with seed. And I think I have to do it because I got these sheds back to back. I got to drive out of the zone and then back into the zone. There it goes. And alright, so not too bad. Let's go ahead and get back up to work. We'll get the other sunflower field done. And I may come back down and top it back off again before I go to the sugar beet field. And it may be wise to, because the sugar beet field's kind of at the other end of the map. It's not that far, but I'm kind of here. So maybe we'll come back and top off. Well, so far so good with the McCormick. But we are going a little bit downhill here, so yeah, working speed is 11 miles an hour on this planter. So let's see what happens when we start going uphill a little bit. I assume it's going to drop down a little bit, but not too much, hopefully. I mean, it's not too bad, but it may be worth putting the sensors on the Fendt. Actually, it'd probably be good to put them on all my tractors, but it can be a little expensive right now. I think the McCormick can do just fine. It'll probably slow down a little bit because the sugar beet field, we do have a little bit of an incline going towards the eastern side of the map when we start planting. But yeah, but with this planter here, it's not going to take us long at all to get this field done. And then, like I said, definitely got to get that sugar beet field in, because that is going to bring us in the cash late fall and through the winter. And hopefully we get a really, really good yield out of it. But by then, when the sugar beet field harvest comes along, we should have the 300 fermenter put down. I think that's 190,000 for that. And if we have the money, I may even put down the liquid slurry fermenter or holding tank so we can ferment it. And I think that's like 90,000. And at some point, like I said, I would like to get a sprayer so we can go down to the BGA, grab the digestate that we've been making, and start using that as fertilizer. And once I start using that with fertilizer, I will not be paying for liquid fertilizer in the planter or the artificial fertilizer in the seed drill. It seems like the loam is your going to be your best friend. If you got plenty of it on your property, it's pretty good because I'm not using much seed at all in this type of soil. I don't know if that affects... I think the nitrogen is only affected by the crop type. The soil affects the seed type and the pH value, which is lime. Oh, I didn't put my covers back on my planter. There they go. Don't want the seed just popping out everywhere. Yeah, I think I'll go back and top off with liquid fertilizer and seed just to make sure. You can see the field off in the distance that we need to do. It's not that, I mean, it's big, but it's not extremely big. I'm going to guess to lease the sugar beet harvester is probably about the same price as the forage harvester. So probably between the harvester and the header, it might be like 20 grand to lease that. But I'm going to guess it's going to take us more than an hour to harvest sugar beet. But I may look for a modded header or something like that. I don't know, usually the first time I harvest a crop that maybe a lot of you haven't seen before, I'll just use the in-game stuff so you can kind of see what it looks like and what it does. But as for you veteran players out there, you're like, yeah, get a modded header. Let's not deal with that. Got a ways to go before we get to the sugar beet harvest though, so see what I come up with in between now and then. It's kind of like the sugarcane harvest. The first time we did that, we used the 2-meter wide header harvester because I've never done it before, and after doing it once, it's like, well, it's fine. This takes a lot of time, and we had a kind of a smallish field. Takes up some time, but then after doing the forage harvester last time and that header, it's like, well, that cut down the work in half easily. Alright, so the sunflower fields are done. Except for this little piece right here. Alright, I'm going to go back to the main farm. Top this off with some goodies. And I'll meet you down at the sugar beet field and we'll start planting some sugar beet. Get that taken care of. Looks like I'll be using McCormick all day today. Because we'll be going ahead and mowing the grass right after we get done planting the sugar beet. Kind of interesting to see that leaves have regrown on some of the trees and some of the other trees are just barely starting to bud. Planter is already set on sugar beet. So a little interesting fact, so like the last field that we planted was sunflower. As you remember, I went on down to the farm and topped off with liquid fertilizer and seed. So I topped it off again, and it cost me just under $1,400 to top off the planter. So basically it cost me $1,400 to plant sunflower seed and fully fertilize that sunflower field. So that's pretty cheap. Now that I'm here, this field looks bigger than it did when I was up there, but that's the way it goes. Alright, so the question is, how much seed am I going to go through on sugar beet? Because root crop usually, it likes to use seed, basically. Wait for it to say sugar beet, and it does. Alright, so put that down. I remember the first time I did sugar beet, I thought the symbol was actually for carrots. I was like, wait a minute, I'm planting carrots. Where do I sell them at? And I couldn't find a store that took carrots. And I realized, oh, that's sugar beet. Okay. I got you now. So basically, after I plant this field, the only thing we got left to do in all the fields, well, the fields that we just planted, I'm going to have to take care of the weeds after the crop grows. The sugarcane field, I could actually go in there and take care of the weeds now. But I'm just going to wait until April rolls around because all these fields should be ready for to be weeded. Then I'll take care of the sugarcane field also. So a slight incline here, but the McCormick is doing pretty darn good actually. Being about 40 horsepower under the requirement, so it's not doing too bad. The only thing I don't know if they do in the equation is if you're using a tractor that has less horsepower than what's required to use the implement, does that wear down your tractor faster? And there would be a way to test that, but yeah, I don't know if I would have the time to do so. I'm trying to remember the last time I did a really big field of sugar beet. And I want to say that had it been on the Pacific Northwest that I did sugar beet. And that was in 19. But that was without seasons. Well, seasons wouldn't matter really. But that was without precision farming. I cannot remember if I did precision farming in the Pacific Northwest Challenge on 19 or not. Because I know the field that I did the sugar beet in. Not that it helps me because I don't remember what the yield was either. But I think this field would be roughly the same size. I'm going to say that was without precision farming. I think that was just on the challenge itself. But I'm wondering if I can get this field done while I have to go back to the farm and top off with any liquid fertilizer or seed. But I'm happy with the purchase of this planter. It works really, really good. Working width seems to be just about right for what we're trying to do here. And now we have the option of every year, like if we want to plant cotton, we can, because now we got the planter for it. Or keep doing sugar beet, which we'll probably keep on doing. By the way that it's looking, I don't think I'm going to have to go back to the farm and top off with seed or fertilizer at all. The other thing I got curious about was, without precision farming, as we know, when you have a grass, well, when you create a field with a plow, you get a stage of fertilization when you plant or plow the grass into the soil. And I was wondering, with precision farming, is that why I'm not going through a lot of fertilizer? Did I get did I get some fertilization down when I planted or plowed the grass into the soil? And the answer I'm going to say is a little bit of yes, but mostly no. And I'll show you why I'm thinking that once we get down here to the end of the row. One, you can kind of see in the upper left hand corner how much fertilizer is currently in the ground and what our goal is. I'm adding about 150 kilograms per hectare. I do believe that's trying to show me. Alright, let me go ahead and just raise this up for a second. So now in the bottom right hand corner, running into my planter, you can see that we're trying to reach 140 kilograms worth of nitrogen in the soil that we're in. If we go where I haven't planted yet, the current level of nitrogen is only 15. So we're going from like 15 up to 140. So not, if I did get some fertilization from it, it's not a whole lot. What's the yield looking like? So right here in this sandy loam, we're looking at about a yield potential of 100%. But this is all sandy loam here. I am planting in some silty clay, and that's going to make the harvest not as good. That's the whole thing with precision farming. You're going to save yourself money on fertilizer, seed, lime, but you're going to get some good yields on certain types of soil and bad harvest on well, clay. If you got clay, you may want to move your field elsewhere. So right here we're in loom. So over here you can see we're at 125% yield potential. But when I get up to, there's clay here somewhere. And now we'll probably drop it down to like 80% yield. Ah, silty clay, how you doing? I don't know what the worst part of clay is, but if we go over to silty clay, yeah, we're down to like 90%, 88, 90%. I'm just trying to, I'm hoping for about 300,000 liters of sugar beet when I harvest this field. I'm just shooting out a number. It's been a long time, like I said, since I've done sugar beet, and I haven't done sugar beet in 22 with precision farming, any of this. I mean, we're going back to Farming Simulator 19 without precision farming and all that, so I'm just looking at the size of the field, thinking probably get that much-ish. But if any of you have done sugar beet in 22 with precision farming turned on, of course it's going to be different, but if you can kind of look at the size of the field, throw your guesses in now. We'll find out when August or September. I don't know when the harvest time is for sugar beet, but we'll find out when harvest time comes what we're going to get off this field. But if I got to store like 300,000 liters of sugar beet, I'm going to need a decent size silo. And some silos do not take root crop. So I'll have to double check on that. Well, it's a good thing I did after we planted that sunflower field to go top off, because I think that would have saved me a trip going back. But just like that, we got the 2 sunflower fields done. And within a flash, we got this field done here. So basically in an hour of real time, because I do get up at 8 o'clock, I went around this morning, took care of our production buildings, made sure things were stacked away out of the unloading zone and all that stuff. Then we went on down, bought the planter, did a little bit of testing with the planter and fertilizer. That's a good 1 hour's worth of work. Alright, so what does that do to our score over here? So the score has gone up over here. They were all at 57. This one's actually at 77, but that's counting this field here. But it doesn't recognize the pH value or the nitrogen value at all. And of course, weed control, that we'll be taking care of that. See, this one here is 100% weed control because we took care of the weeds over here with a spot sprayer. Yeah. But our overall score is still at 59 and a 3% increase in selling products. Anywho, time to bring the McCormick and our new planter back to the main farm. We'll wash it off, we'll put it away, and then time to bring the McCormick over to our cow farm. And time to mow some grass because we've got to get that picked up, compacted, covered, start fermenting so we can bring grass there in April down to the BGA and start processing that into beautiful, beautiful energy. Quick repair on the McCormick and our planter. $339 for the McCormick and $68 for the planter, and I can't turn that much with this thing. I think we'll park this next to our 9T Ideal Combine. not going to wash the McCormick because that's going to get really dirty again in no time flat. But definitely rinse this off because I do believe I'm done with it for the year, but who knows. I may get ambitious and plow another field somewhere at some point and plant something with it. You never know, I might do corn. Of course, I don't know when I plant corn. But now that I'm kind of wondering myself, corn would be in April and May, so that does give me some time. Cotton would have to be today, and that's not going to happen. So corn could be a possibility. If I want to go ahead and make a whole bunch of chaff, which we can turn into silage. Can I squeeze this in here? I should be able to. Let's see, not out the front, is it out the back? Oop. That's good. Alright, let's see here. The egg's going to stay there because we're... Okay, I'm going to say it. I'm going to put down the donut factory today. After we go cut some grass. Alright, I know the grass says it's ready to be harvested, but I don't think it's at its max height. But if I cut the grass now, I might be able to get 3 cuts out of it this year. Yeah, I don't think the grass is at the max height. But if I go into this page here... Scroll on back up to the grass field and then come up to here. It says it's ready for harvest. Now, we used to have different stages for ready to harvest for grass. And basically all crops. But we only get one color. Kind of like different color variations for growing. You can kind of see it goes from light green to dark green. We used to have the same thing for harvesting. But oddly enough, we don't have that here. So... I can't tell if grass is in the first, if this is the first stage or the second stage of it ready to be harvesting. I think I'm going to go ahead and wait one more day, which kind of sucks because that means I got to wait an extra day before I can put grass into the BGA and all that. I'm going to go ahead and leave this right over here. I'll have to think about it in between episodes if I want to cut the grass in March or in April. What I might actually do, kind of cheese it a little bit, I'll save the game and then turn off autosave and then fast forward to April to see if the grass actually does grow taller, which it might do so. What I need to do next, because I kind of forgot about it, is the Mac Anthem trailer is full of a whole bunch of pallets from the Big Red Barn, so I need to go ahead and sell that. I don't know why I just looked up and down the road like traffic is going to be coming. But then I got to come back and get some more stuff. As you can see, we are full there. We should be full here. Yes, we are full. All right, on down to the No Man Land shop. We'll go ahead and sell this stuff. Come back and get some more pallets. Yeah, we get about what, $12,000 to $15,000 worth, usually per load. So maybe we'll end up with close to about $230,000, about $225,000 to $230,000. We should be ending up with by the time we get done selling all the stuff from the Big Red Barn. Alright, here is load number 1. Alright, so that was about $13,000 right there. So if I get another $13,000, that'd be great. But I only got about a half of a load this time, so yeah. If we hit $10,000, that'd be pretty amazing. We're still using the corn from the harvest last season. Not last season, but the season before that. We're still making popcorn with that. So corn will bring you a long ways in that production building. I still got some corn in the silo back at the main farm I could bring over and top it off, but it does not need it yet. Yes, I'm not expecting to get up to $225,000 with this load here at all. But you know what? It's better than the $200,000 we had just a few seconds ago. Alright, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Almost $220,000 in the bank account. Okay, so let's go bring this trailer back over to the cow farm. We'll plop that somewhere, then we'll grab the tanker. We're going to load up with some milk, go on down to the Dairy Godmother, and we're going to activate making chocolate and butter with that load there. I'm not going to put that on distribute. I want to change those to storing so I can bring the butter and the chocolate where needed. Yeah, the butter could go to the Big Red Barn, it could go to Bread Pit, or it could go to, pretty soon to be on here, the donut shop. And the chocolate, I think, can also go to the Big Red Barn as well. But I'm just going to go ahead and put that on storing, then we can bring the chocolate and butter where needed. And I think I need to change one of the settings in the greenhouses as well after we put down the donut shop. I think I got strawberries on selling because everything was maxed out on strawberries. So I think it's about 14,000 liters of milk. I could be completely wrong here. I know it's at least 14,000 last time I checked. 15, 16, 19, 20,000 liters of milk. That is pretty darn good. Because now we got 30 cows producing milk. Slowly but surely, we'll get a full 100 cows making milk, and then we'll be good to go at the Big Red Barn. We'll be able to make hopefully some strawberry, I think it's strawberry ice cream. And then the donut should almost be, I don't want to say non-stop. And then the cakes, we should be able to keep up with the cakes as well. Let's see how, since I decorated it last season, I really haven't been down here. It looks like I gave myself enough room to go around. I think we're all set. And that trigger is in here somewhere. There it is. Alright, so while that's unloading, let's go down to our production buildings, which, well, as we all know, we got plenty of. I got to bring some wool over. Yeah, I'm going to leave that running. I'm going to leave those on. I got some wool to bring over. That's what I was going to do. Kind of forgot about that. Where is the Dairy Godmother? Did I go past it? I think I might have. Dairy Godmother was before. Oh, it's right here. So, yep. Let's see. We got 20,000 liters of milk and 30,000 liters of sugar. So we're going to go ahead and, let's see. What's the ratio for chocolate? All right. Let's just go ahead and just activate that. And, of course, we'll activate butter as well. And then storing, everything's on storing. I think cheese is about the only thing we won't be making, unless there's a recipe that calls for it as some future thing. But you never know. If, like I said, when we get 100 cows making milk, we might have enough milk to go ahead and make them all. But for now, we just got that there. Let's see. Planks are going back up in our furniture shop, so we're doing good there. We already used about 16,000 liters of wood at the sawmill. Let's see here. Now, the only thing I just realized is I don't have a way to get... I got a lot of flour... Well, I had a lot of flour in Bread Pit. But there's no way to get the flour back out to bring it over to the donut shop, which we are going to go ahead and do right now. That transition used to be a big bump right there. So it looks like I got that flattened out sort of well. We got plenty of sugar. I can always go ahead and sell the sugar, but I think what we're going to be doing once we get done with the sugarcane harvest, this will be the last year we do that for a while. We're just going to leave the sugar there, and we'll just keep on producing chocolate when we can. And once we start getting low on sugar, then we'll go ahead and make some more. But for now, yeah, we'll just leave the sugar there. If I ever need maybe a whole bunch of cash, I could always sell the sugar. So as you can see, we're kind of going on down here to put down the donut shop. I think it's 50,000 for this place. And I do have a nice little spot for it. I didn't really have to park the truck way over here because I guess it's habit in Farming Simulator just to stay off the road so traffic can go around. Let me go ahead in the easier developer mod here and turn off or turn on delete objects. So instead of me having to come down here with a chainsaw to move everything around, these are small trees, and yeah, we're not going through the trees hardly at all. Where's the third tree? There's a third tree here somewhere. Oh, there it is. And that is gone. Alright, I'm going to back up way out of the way here. Construction, give it a moment to kick in. There we go. Let's rotate this way. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is landscaping. And we're going to make this nice and big here. And as strong as we can. Just make sure that we are flat everywhere. Or flat-ish. I mean, the donut shop's not going to be that big, I hope. But, let's see. Production, factories, donut shop. I want to leave myself some in the back because I don't know where the pickup and drop-off points are. So we're just going to go ahead and go boink. There we go. So now we come into our production buildings, and it's all the way down here. So let's see. We need flour. We need sugar. We need milk, and butter, and eggs. And that's for glaze. For strawberry donuts, we need, looks like all the same material, along with strawberries, and of course, chocolate donuts. Just take out the strawberries and put in some chocolate. So the glaze... Yeah, so I can bring the eggs on down here. So when we do the wheat harvest and oat harvest this year, all the extra stuff, instead of possibly bringing oats and make an oat drink, probably make a whole bunch of flour this year with it. And make sure our donut production going, because I think the donuts sell for a pretty darn good price, if I'm not mistaken here. Thought I just saw them somewhere, but no, here they are. All right, so current price. So the best price is $4,240 for glaze, $4,500 for the strawberry, and almost $4,800 for chocolate donuts. So we got to get this donut shop up and going this year. But not too bad. So it looks like I'm going to say this is probably the drop-off somewhere back here. Yep, this is the drop-off, and probably the pickup point might be over here. We'll find out later on this year. So the donut shop is finally down. So that leaves us with $170,000, which is not too bad. Don't worry, in the month of April, we do got some clothes to sell. And the sheep have done a very good job. I think currently I got about 10 pallets. So, yeah, we're talking about $100,000 worth of clothes that we're probably going to get tomorrow in the month of April. I'm going to double check on that grass field, though. I think I might try to do the cheesy thing and just save the game, turn off autosave, fast forward to April, see if the grasses grow another stage, which I think it's going to. But if it doesn't, then I'll see you right back here next episode, and we'll be starting out with cutting the grass in March. And we'll get that, compacted, covered. Then skip into April, sell some clothing. We'll have to take care of some weeds in the fields that we just planted, the sugar beet field, and of course the sunflower field, and the sugar cane field needs to be weeded as well. Keep our eye on the store for a couple of things. Maybe a slurry / digestate sprayer, so we can start doing some artificial spraying instead of using, well, I should say organic spraying rather than artificial spraying. But you know what I'm talking about. So let's see, with the dairy productions going, yeah, we are pretty much all set. We just got to get the BJ up and running again here with some silage that we'll be doing here in April or May. But not too bad. We got this all done before the rain came, which was not a big surprise there. Oh yeah, after I get done here, I got to bring the wool over. I do got about maybe 6,000 or 7,000 liters of wool to bring over. That could be like another crate or two of clothing. Anyways, that is going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in No Man's Land. But until then, have a good one.